Ladies and gentlemen, this is KageKaze, back again. And I'm going to do something that I wanted to do last time. I didn't get a chance, but I'm going to show you why I like to raid Cherno. Cherno is like my favorite spot for gearing up when I die. There's a few reasons. Now there's a bit of light here, so I'm kind of investigating that at the moment. But I believe... yeah, it's these things, these barrels. These things light up automatically in the game space, so... interesting that, really. So, yeah. Now, the server is, as you can tell, deeply at night, so there's really not a lot going on. I'm not concerned about being located. So we're going to just kind of go around, instead of with the NVGs, we're going to go ahead and use this light. And we're going to loot around. Now this building here, this kind of skeleton structure, is one of the industrial spawns of this area. And at this point I'm just going to kind of look for equipment for the vehicles. Yeah, I'm finding a lot of razor wire lately, aren't I? Alright. Go ahead and turn that off, not too worried there. As you can see, a couple spawns of ammo and whatnot, so hey look, AK ammo, that's great. Smoke grenades also great for getting zombies off of you. I'll go ahead and throw these on. It's just going to be easier to see that way. I thought it would be kind of cool to run around with a flashlight and act badass or something like that, but yeah, you know what, efficiency is better. Hatchet here. Painkillers. Here's something that's nice to have, a main rotor assembly if you ever find a helicopter. That is one of the parts that you will need. It is unique to the helicopter, so you really don't need it for anything else. So that being the case, I'm not really going to worry about picking that up. Simply because we really don't need one right now. Alright, one last floor. Such a creepy bell. Alright, so what I'm going to do is kind of direct you guys from the coast, since anyone that's new will be more familiar with that area. You come in from the coast, you don't have a map, you don't have a compass. I honestly suggest using daisydb.com so you can kind of know where you are roughly. If the second line that appears when you spawn is the city you're near, and it will help you find your location. You can leave a server and return to try and get that to reappear, because every time you log back in it tells you what city you're in. The reason why is because when you're on the coast here, you want to know if you are needing to go left or right. Alright, we're going to start here along the coast and move into Chernogorsk. Coming from the coast, you're kind of gonna see this area here. There's the crane, the industrial area is there. As you can see coming up, there's a building right here that you can go right into. And automatically you can start looking for things. You usually want to go into these buildings first, as best you can. Entering a main city is tricky business, depending upon what server you're on. You might, just starting out, you may even want to consider finding a server with low pop, just so you can try and get some equipment, or at least get armed, as the zombies will be the least of your worries, depending upon what server you're on and how trigger happy the denizens of that server are. That hatchet right there is going to be your lifeblood for killing zombies. Okay. I actually found a soda here. I'm going to consume that. But as I talked about before, using these buildings will help you drop zombie aggro, or their aggression towards you. The zombies have to slow down to go through buildings. That may change in a future build, so we have to be careful about that. But buildings also provide you with a lot of 90-degree quick turns that you can make in order to drop their line of sight. Running through, you kind of want to be careful of open areas in case there are players looking for you. And of course, zombies like to congregate in open areas. Now, Cherno does have these graphical glitches, which hopefully will be resolved here in the near future. Unfortunately, I can fix them roughly, but I'd have to, of course, shut off the recording again. Get into it, which I might just do here in a moment. We're just going to go ahead and go down this way. Once you get a little bit distance in, and you can kind of tell from my map I'm near a major road. But assuming you didn't have that, hey, look, there's a spot over here. Let's just take a quick look. Assuming you didn't have the map, though, you could still use intersections for guidance to help you find your way around. You want to start making your way towards the city proper, and the reason for that is this industrial area is great for finding equipment, or especially vehicle equipment, but the residential area is better for finding a lot of the stuff you're going to need to survive. Now I'm going to try and drop this zombie's aggro. I'm going to hit my F key here a bit until I've got the smoke grenade white. See, I mostly lost him here. Alright, I've got my smoke grenade on. I'm just going to go ahead and use it. Standing still is not good. Smoke will disorient zombies. As you can see, those guys that are in the smoke have to walk. They can't see me. And you see here, I'm just kind of taking 90-degree turns, using bushes to obscure line of sight. Of course, this one's too close to the wall, apparently. Let's get out of it. So I'm going to go ahead and keep my GPS off for now, to kind of give you a more authentic feeling of this. And I'm going to fix that issue, I think, to make it easier to see. In case it is fixed with a new patch, you can see it. Let me find a location to crouch down. Alright, weapon with a lower profile. Brilliant. Now when you find new weapons, I don't recommend using all your ammo right away. If you have a hatchet and a pistol, use your hatchet if you can, and swap to your pistol when necessary. It'll help you avoid aggro. Alright, let me try and fix this issue real quick. Alright, that should fix it. Now, You want to be careful, like I said. You kind of want to be sneaky, but not too slow, as you make yourself a target. You kind of want to orientate yourself to where you came from pretty much the ocean. And what I'm going to show you here is actually, I inadvertently just went through one of the buildings I wanted to show. That's this right here. This is one of these corner shops. This is kind of a cafe. Let me kind of give you an idea of what it looks like with lighting. So this is the cafe. There are about 6 of these inside Cherno. And as you can see, I go in here and the first thing I find is an Alice pack. That's great. Now unfortunately in this case you're going to have to pick up everything around it, and then when you go over the Alice pack you can move your mouse wheel and it'll give you the option to take the Alice pack. For whatever reason you can't take it until it's clear and the only item there. The context menu is a little buggy about that. As you see, there's magazine, Makarovs, things like that. Soda readily available as you look around. And there you go. Right there, there's a Makarov with some ammo. So that would give you a pistol to start with. So as you can see, the areas I've checked so far have already given me a hatchet and a pistol, had I not already had these items. Again though, you have to be careful. You really can't tell if there's going to be, you know, a player somewhere near you getting ready to kill you and take your goods. And there's a Lee Enfield right there, a primary weapon. So there's a pistol and a primary weapon. Keep in mind Lee Enfield, while fairly decent weapon for a starter weapon, can be kind of loud. It's not as loud as it used to be, thankfully, but yeah, you have to be mindful of that because that is going to get aggro. What is this? Hold on, let's clear this out. I got 4 cans. A Czech vest pouch? Really? I haven't run across that before, to be honest with you. Okay, well, hey, let's do this. To be on the safe side, I'm going to take my pack. It's already got some stuff in it. I'm going to go ahead and drop it. You see, there's my pack. Let's take it. The Czech vest pouch. There it is. And it only has 6 slots. So this is pretty much a worthless item. I believe your starter backpack actually has just that amount. But as you can see here, here's the scroll window where you can say, take backpack. And I'm just taking my backpack back. Don't be afraid to drop your backpack if you need to. As you can see, my items are still in it. Yeah, you're going to just want to look around here. See, there's already some water, some bandages, ammo for 1911s, all sorts of goodies inside these corner buildings. And like I said, there's about 6 of these inside of Cherno. So you're going to have plenty of places that you can go and stock up on items. And these are the best place to start off with because you can get yourself a couple drinks and a bit of food. Don't overload yourself too much with food and drink. You know, I think maybe 3 of each is a decent way to start. Now from here you want to kind of orientate yourself, you know, where did you come from? Which way are you going? So you kind of want to know, well, which way is the ocean? Well, one way to find out is in this direction here. You can kind of tell this is the industrial direction. Industrial is pretty much in the northwest part of Cherno. So if I'm looking at this, I'm looking probably northwest right now. Since the water is behind me, or to the south, it would be behind me in this direction. So this thing I found here means I'm going to want to go in this direction. It's a wide open street. Let's kind of take a roundabout way. And in these little tunnels here, of course, you can find items sometimes. Just going to go roundabout here. Looks like another corner store. little cafe here. See if there's anything good. Look, another backpack right in the beginning. This is a Czech backpack, which is, I think, the third biggest. The Alice is, of course, the one that we found before, is the second biggest. And the Coyote, which I'm wearing now, is the largest backpack. So there you go. There's a Winchester there. Winchesters are fairly decent. They are shotguns. The problem I have with shotguns is their ammo takes up quite a bit of space in your inventory. Now, the good thing about shotguns is you can combine a lot of shotgun ammo for different types. So, for example, if you found the 2-round shotguns for, say, a double shotgun, you can take 4 of those and combine it into an 8-round for a different shotgun. And that would, of course, also save you a little bit of inventory space. Look at that, another Makarov, tons of Makarov ammo. I like the 1911 better, but if you have a Makarov, you find a Makarov and lots of ammo, take it. There's a revolver. See, lots of primary weapons and such here. Now, this is slightly unusual. Now, you will find weapons in these places, but they're usually not so common. Pistols, yes. The primaries, no. You will typically find yourself a nice sidearm in these cafes. And that is probably one of the first things you want to get. Okay, so here we are. I know roughly where I am. Yeah, see this tall building here? That's kind of my bearings here. So I've been in that one, and this one you see they're right across from each other. There's even another one nearby. This is a really great. I'm pretty much in the center of Cherno right now. Like, you can tell just by how many of these I've found already. This is good and bad at the same time. Good because it's a very central location. I have multiple places I can look for equipment. Bad because, well, if there's anyone else in Cherno, hey, there's a map, then yeah, that means they will probably be nearby. The center is probably one of the highest traveled areas. The other places that would be highly trafficked would be fire stations, if you know where those are. Simply because the fire stations are one of the few military installations to exist in a main city. It's just a regular hunting knife, right? Yeah, okay. See here, there's a Remington. Actually, this is a nice Remington. This has got a Remington with a flashlight on it. So if it's getting dark, you can pick that up, and it's a lot like my assault rifle where I can just turn on the flashlight. Lots of items here. I mean, you can just tell by the packs that this place gets looted. Lots of people looting this place. They're dropping and trading ammo, because until you get an Alice pack, which of course I did find early, you can't carry a lot of stuff. And that's all Makarov ammo. Alright, well, I found a map. Of course, granted, I already had one. I kind of wanted to get an idea of where I am. What the heck is that? Huh. People putting random map markers on the server. I don't even know why. The map doesn't just... Why it just picks a random location. The map doesn't, for whatever reason, center on you, and I think part of that is to keep you from relying on it to get your bearings. I should be, I do believe, right around here. If not right around here. And so I kind of want to go this way, and the reason being is there's going to be a fire station right around here. And of course there's a church here. Churches are pretty good spawn locations for items. They're actually a very high residential value. Alright, so let's try and drop this zombie. I'm going to go in here. See, here's the center town square. And this place is usually bad for people who don't have a fix for the graphical glitches, because this is where you're going to get the most glitches, is because of all the dead bodies in front of this place. Alright, we're going to go across. I'm just going to... It's kind of in the open, but that's okay. I'm going to just kind of run across here. Part of it's okay because these, see all these corpses right here? Those would cause glitches to someone else, so I might be able to get by with it because they can hide me. But I wouldn't count on that if I were you. And as you can see, here's across, here's the third. This is a third corner store in 3 of the 4 corners of this area. Hey, there's my 1911. Okay, I've got a few of these. Ooh. Oopsie. But what I would recommend if you're going to fight zombies and you've got limited either ammo or you've only got a hatchet, don't engage a zombie in the open. They move quick. They move very fast. You want to get them in a place like this to make them slow down, especially if you're going to be using a hatchet. They will try to circle around behind you, and sometimes they can run up to you and hit you before you even realize it, and getting hit by a zombie is a bad thing. They can knock you out. They can make you bleed. You get them inside of a building, and what usually happens is they'll start shambling towards you, and if there's more than one, they'll shamble in single file. Make their dumb AI work for you, really, is the whole point I'm trying to make with that. It will save your life. Now, the one interesting thing I've noticed is in all these I've found is I haven't found any food. Everything's been sodas. Typically in these cafes, you're going to find sodas. Or food as well, sorry. Let's get to the top. Now, I am being slightly less cautious. You usually want to kind of check your surroundings, make sure someone isn't waiting to take you out. Here we go. Here's some canned food. So I'm going to go ahead and actually take both of them and eat them both to get some more blood, because I'm at under 9. So there we go. Eat both of them. Go from 9.1 to 9.3. Very good. Excellent. Yeah, a lot of people dropping Makarov ammo around. I think a lot of people prefer the 1911 for 2 reasons. One, it can be used both the 1911 and the 45 ACP. Hey, there's a compass. That would help you out in this particular instance to find out where you're going. And not only that, but the 1911s themselves, as well as its ammo, are fairly common. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up my compass so you can kind of see where I'm going here. Double tap. Okay. I want to go mostly west, so as you can see as I come out here, I'm going to go this way. There's the church ahead of me. You can tell by the dome building there. Alright there, that's the church. That's essentially where I want to go at this point. Structures like the church can be great for getting your bearings. Once you get used to the cities, it'll be a lot easier. But if you're not sure, look for something like this and then use a map location like DayZDB. And it'll help you figure out where you're going. If you've got a compass, then you can help yourself even more, then you've got two ways of getting your bearings, your locations. So just kind of checking the corners as well as moving in here. So it's the inside of the church. Each of these corners usually has something in it. And there's a Makarov. Now there are items between the pews here too, so you might want to look here to find out. See, nothing important for me here. I'm going to grab that soda actually and drink it. 45 ACPs. There you have it. Okay, so I'm at the church, and from here I want to pretty much go north by northwest. Or pretty much, I'd say a straight shot northwest would be more accurate. Because that is where the very first fire station that I'm nearby is. So let me just kind of show you here. There's the church, and I want to kind of go out here in this direction. Not this building, but it should be this one or this one. I believe it's this one. That will be my fire station. So if I come out here, there's the ocean. You see, I'll just bring this up. I'm heading west, but I need to go slightly north. So I'll just bring this up real quick to kind of show it. There I am. See, I'm actually on the left side of the church, and if I go back this way, that gets me to where I wanted to be. So let's just go ahead and turn that back off. And as you can see, yet another corner store. Little cafe. Let's just take a quick look. Hey, some wood if you wanted to cook. There's that. You would just need matches. If you had gutted an animal with a hunting knife, that would help you out. There's really a lot of things you kind of need to survive if you don't want to be raiding these buildings all the time. You need wood to make a fire. You need matches with that wood to make the fireplace in order to make the fire. You need a hunting knife in order to gut animals that you've killed, and of course you need a weapon of some sort to kill an animal. So as you can see, it all kind of ties together. You know, you're going to need a lot, but honestly, those items are not too bad to come across. Depending upon your luck, you may find a hunting knife right away. You may have a hard time finding matches. You may have a hard time finding a hunting knife. Honestly, the loot spawns being random as they are. Looks like another Czech backpack. Honestly, whoever decides to check this Cherno on this server is going to be finding a lot of stuff, to be honest with you. I mean, a small group of people could get in here and get geared up right away. Look at this. Is that a coyote? I think it is. And that's unusual, because coyotes I thought were military only. Let's go ahead and grab... Oh, Makarov mags. Okay, take the chems. Oh, I saw it. No, it's a Czech. There it is. Alright. Drop it. Yeah. Czechs are good, though. Alice is better. Honestly, like I said, Czech is like your third largest. So if you find one of those, you should be set as starting out. Let's go back this way. This is north. See, I'm looking at the industrial area. That's how I can also get my bearings. Now here's the thing. I'm going to show you this building. This here with the 4-story center tower is a fire station. These are some of the areas you want to look for, but you also have to be careful. Fire stations will be highly sought after because of the valuable loots that they have. Let's go ahead and close that, just in case. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of look around here. And because I'm paranoid, I'm going to go ahead and pull out my primary. Oh, some belt mags. See, this is a military location. You will find stuff that you normally only find on a military base, including, see, look, there's an AKM. More belt-fed rounds. Now, if you're in one of these and you're trying to defend it, keep in mind that players can get onto this rooftop here and the rooftop above. So you might have to be mindful of windows when you're in this location. And as you can see, someone has been here, but it's probably been a while. See, look, even frag grenades are here. Ooh, an M9 mag. I'm going to go ahead and leave a bandage and take an M9 mag. Excellent. So there you go. These, I see I found, here's a 1014, and there was an AK. Really good weapons inside these fire stations. Now, from here in Electro, what I would normally do is once I've gotten into a fire or sorry, this is not Electro, this is Cherno. I apologize. Once I've gone through Cherno and gathered enough, basically, weapons and items to move on and feel confident, I would start moving west. Here's basically what I would kind of do for gearing up if you feel confident. You can move from Cherno here west. I'm not going to do it now because it takes a long travel time, but as you go west, you're going to get here towards Balota, just following this road here or this red line, which is the train tracks. And this is the Balota airstrip. This is one of the few military spawns and probably the only military spawn that's really close by to the starting areas. As you move along this way, one of the places I would normally check, here's where the road splits. It goes up and the train tracks continue forward. In this area in between, there is a military, kind of a bunker area. It's a bunch of military tents, and there's 4 deer stands at the corners. One roughly here, 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 and here. You get into this location, you'll know it when you see it. It's got a front entrance where you have to open it up because it's barricaded with all sorts of razor wire. This was a place that's very prone to graphical glitches at this stage of the game. But along the edge here, you can get, there are some sandbags with barbed wire on top of them, so you can't climb over them. But there's a gap somewhere around here at the far end that you can climb over and get in there, and basically the zombies are behind these sandbags. They can't get to you, and you can just sit there and shoot them and then climb over and get inside and start clearing the deer stands. And the deer stands have military equipment, and each stand has about 2 spawns, so 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 8 military minor spawns in there, and then once you're done raiding that, you can move north to the airfield. There's industrial spawns here and military spawns here. Excellent places if you want to get started gearing up for the first time. This is a great location. Once you are really confident, one of the things that starts happening is a lot of players tend to start moving north, and the big place that people raid nowadays is this one here. This is probably the one location with the most military spawns that I've seen. This is what's considered the Northwest Airfield by Lopatino and Vibor. All sorts of military spawns there. There are other airfields in the game. There's one over here in the northeast. But as you can see, there's not as many buildings there. And I believe there's another one, but it's escaping my memory at the moment. But yeah. And you've got major cities here. There's Electro, good for industrial, Cherno. And then even in the upper right hand corner, you've got this place called Baranzino, which has a lot of spawns between these 2 locations here and here. So yeah, those are the kind of the locations that once you start venturing out into the world, you can look into. Hopefully maybe find yourself a vehicle for moving around. This place, Cherno and into Balota, is my favorite place because it's a very quick gearing up experience. Of course, the problem is anything that's done quickly is also usually fairly difficult, especially on high population servers. Now, as you can see here, I did my fix before to fix those graphical issues, and they have returned. So my fix is honestly temporary at best, as you can see here. Really a shame. Anyway, if you've ever found a vehicle, Cherno is another great place because of this industrial area. You can use it for your bearings, but you can also come in here, some of these buildings. Hey, look, a Lee Enfield in 1911 right there. But this is where Cherno is frequently used, at least on this server. I don't know about others. Cherno or Electro are like the two biggest places that are rated. Cherno and Electro both have a lot of industrial spawns, and this is one of them here. Let me just go ahead and I'm going to do something here. Go into my pack. I have 4 spots in my pack. Put that in there. Put that in there. I'm going to grab this scrap metal. Now, I'm going to try and vault this. Seems that you can only vault it if it's fairly low. Now, if you happen to have a toolbox like I do, you can kind of walk up to it and do this remove wire. There you go. Gone. Does it give it to me? No, it just removes it outright. That's what these toolboxes are great for. So, if you don't have one of those, I'll kind of show you the spot you can come in. You would come in through this back area here. No wire there. This is one of the best spawns for industrial equipment and vehicle parts. So as you see here, there's a fuel tank and even a car tire over here. I will probably want to come back here. I will probably grab my vehicle, my ATV that I've been running around in. Hey look, see look, ammo for my M4. Awesome. Yeah, I'll probably grab my ATV and bring it in here while the server is kind of low yield at the moment, or not having a lot of players. Wind glass. Just keep climbing. All sorts of good stuff. Except for the graphical glitches. Another windscreen. And then, hey, look, there's a toolbox right there. Sometimes items will spawn right here on this catwalk. I'm going to go ahead and lean over to take a look. See, there's some there. Nothing important. So yeah, I'm going to bring my ATV here and pick up some of these vehicle parts while they're hot. Excellent, excellent. Hey, look, a jerry can spawned. That is gas. Money in the bank, baby. Okay, I'm at, what, 65128? There's 65. And 128 right there. So cool. The stack's just north of the church. See? There you go. I'll just come here, grab the stuff, and probably leave. Get it out of here. Get it in the hands of people who can use it. Wow. That was painful to look at. Sorry. I would normally not record anything that has graphical glitches like that, but since it's not anything I can control, it's not a computer issue, it's more of a patch issue that a lot of people are running across. Yeah, not too much I can do there. Oh, I think yep, I'm kind of full up. Alright then. That means I'm gonna head. Wow. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Snook wants me to bring him night vision. Who does he think I am? I don't have a ton of night vision to give out. Jeez, another glass screen. I really don't think we need glass screens. Well, as you can see, that's kind of it. There, I mean, look at this. All sorts of industrial equipment here. Spawns for vehicles. Most of it, if not all of it, is listed on the map database. Cherno is a playground, a stomping ground of sorts, though, too. One last thing before I leave, and I'm going to go ahead and show this off because I have to eventually come here anyway. I'm just going to go ahead and do it now so I don't come back on a vehicle. Here in the northern part, pretty much the most northern, kind of middle to the west here, is this. This is a hospital. And around this hospital are some apartment buildings. These apartment buildings actually have military-grade spawns in them. This one specifically. That building right there has military-grade equipment in it, next to the hospital here. So if you need weapons, this is a great place to be. The hospital is probably one of the best spawn locations you can get, or that you can get to, because all the stuff in here that spawns will be useful to you in some way. Running into a little aiming issue here. Really? How are you not dead? Die! Jeez. Double tap. So I'll show you here, kind of a tip for the hospital. The only way to get inside is to break the glass. And there's usually a lot of good stuff in here. You see those boxes? But if you're concerned about drawing attention to yourself by breaking the glass, you can go over here and climb the ladder. Just be mindful that if someone is watching the hospital, they will more than likely see you. There are other ladders on the back. But on the roof, some of these medical supplies can also drop. So if you don't want to break the glass, climb up. Get onto a roof and look for more boxes. There we go. Perfect. And inside these boxes is typically a lot of medical supplies. So I'll open this and see there's a couple blood bags. Bandage. Typically these boxes, when they spawn fresh, will contain somewhere along the lines of 10 bandages, 5 blood bags, 5 morphine injectors. Something like that. All amazing equipment. You usually want to carry at least one morphine injector with you, because if you ever break your leg, there's not much else you can do. You pretty much have to rely on having a morphine injector or having someone bring one to you. The blood bags, honestly, are useless unless you have someone to help you. Unless you want to carry one around. And then see, look, there's a spawn in there. 4 items right behind the hospital here. So now hospitals can also spawn the rare antibiotics. Antibiotics can cure you if you're sick. Sickness is kind of rare, but it can happen. When you get sick, you will start to lose blood. You're not bleeding, you're just losing blood because you're losing health. Sickness will lower your blood to 6,000 at a maximum. So if you get over 6,000 blood, say through a transfusion or through eating, then you will start to drain out blood until you get down to 6,000. Nothing you can really do about that, unfortunately. Alright, let's just... There we go. See, blood packs. You can also spread diseases near people. It doesn't happen all the time, but it can. See, there's some morphine. Let's find an actual box so I can kind of show you the contents. I think most of it has been raided. And unfortunately it has, so... Yeah, a fresh box will usually spawn quite a bit of items. Let's take a look at this one. So yeah, not much here. I still kind of want to come back here. Hey, main rotary assembly. Yeah, this tent's been sitting here forever with hardly anything in it. Just gotta check backpack in it. Oh well. I think that's it for the tour of Cherno. It's a great location. A lot of people use it. Electro, I think. Honestly, it's going to depend on your server. A lot of people like Electro, a lot of people like Cherno. I personally prefer Cherno because of those 6 cafe spawns. If you want to get gear for surviving, that is one of the best places to go. No shame in finding a low pop server in order to get a few supplies at first. Because quite honestly, this game is kind of hard to survive for newbies at the beginning anyway. So don't feel too bad, guys, if you're really fresh into this and you're if you're looking for kind of the easier ways out. It'll happen. And eventually, as you play more and more, you get used to where spawns are. You get used to how the game feels, its quirks, its ins, its outs, its inventory system. I mean, I've been playing this for quite a bit, and I'm still getting used to some things, and I'm used to others a little more. So yeah, I'll be honest with you, I don't know why I've picked this game and picked this up and played it so much. I picked it up because of a friend of mine that wanted to play it with me, and who was always telling me stories about it. And as I played it, I was very frustrated. When I first started playing this game, I kind of hated it. A big part of that was being alone out in the world and running into all this craptastic stuff that could happen to you. Zombies that kill you in all sorts of BS ways, such as attacking you through walls and corners, knocking you out. You know, it's alpha. Alpha is alpha. You're going to run into a lot of that. This is not a final product, obviously. It's still a great product, and I couldn't even tell you why. Because for all those times that I wanted to hate it so badly, I kept coming back. I don't know what compelled me to do so. There's something about this game that is very compelling. I guess it's addicting, because you live and you die, and when you die you have to start all over again. And then the goal is to try and survive longer than you did last time, or try and find that epic spawn. For me, I get pickups a lot now back to base where I can get a whole bunch of stuff, items, and equipment. And so I get right back in really quickly. And yet I still, I go in, I go raiding, I find myself hoarding in this game a lot. We tend to go out and grab a lot of stuff, be it items, weapons, whatever. And we hoard it, and we basically have a whole bunch of stuff for use for, I guess, a rainy day. Chernogorsk. Hey, hey, none of that. None of that. Stop it. Dead zombie. Alright, this is KageKaze. I'll see you guys on the next one.